Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, October 1st, 2022, first day of October. It's the start of spooky season. Today's edition of the Sip Stack on Substack, read by myself, author Ryan Cipriani, is titled 5 Essential Tools Every Writer Needs. The pen. Awesome. Saturday coffee, it just hits differently. There's no rush to it. I will admit to having weekdays that I start with a Keurig coffee. And while the kick gets the job done, the experience is ultimately hollow. There's no ritual. There's no moment of zen as the day begins. The flavor is fine, but underwhelming. It's just coffee for the sake of coffee. But on Saturdays, when there is no muss and fuss in the air, and there's a moment to really pause and pour that pour over extra slowly while the rich crema rises to the top of the filter and the aroma fills your nostrils, that's my kind of coffee. Lots of people think of coffee nowadays simply as go-go juice. It used to be a relaxing pastime and a comforting offer to guests to slow down and share a moment together. Saturdays still offer that. Saturday, whatever your Saturday is an open invitation to, for just a few moments, go a little slower. But once that caffeine hits, it's like Ozzy says, kicking back don't make it. We got stuff to do. We've got writing to get done. That's right, everyone. The pen. Why do I need it? Let's take a moment and recap. What tools have we gathered so far? We have a book to give us some modern definitions, one to format our work, a well to go to and choose from the great bounty of words, and a guardrail to manage our time. So what's left? Well, the writing. The writing is left. We've spent all week preparing to write. And to be fair, good writing takes some preparation. But preparation is unrealized potential energy. You can reorganize your desk a million different ways to optimize its usefulness, but if you never do anything on that desk, what have you really accomplished? It's time to write. And writing requires something to record your thoughts with. A pen and paper are the simplest of these things. They're cheap, readily available, and infinitely functional. Blank sheets of paper and a pen are the ultimate in creative potential. They are nothing but endless possibility. What are you going to create when you put that pen to the paper and start drawing the little symbols that make up language? A fairy tale world beyond our imagination? A space odyssey to worlds unknown? A tragic romance that thrills and inspires for eons to come? The choice is yours, but write it. Just write it. All right, nice speech. Do I really need a pen, though, you ask? Nope. You can do the same thing with an amazing word processor on your computer, or a completely unremarkable and simplistic word processor. You could use a typewriter or the Notes app on your phone. You don't even need to record your words in the traditional sense. There are people out there who can't write or are physically unable to, and they have stories to tell. Get yourself a dictation program and tell your story out loud, or record an audiobook or podcast. Film yourself doing sign language. The point of the pen is a metaphorical one. The pen has changed over time, but what it represents remains. You need a way to record your story so you can share it with others. What you use to do that doesn't matter so much as the act of creating your story in a medium that others can see, read, watch, listen, or whatever. Just find something that you can record your story with and get it out into the world. You have an audience that is waiting. They want to experience your story. Whether it's a journalistic study on sociological change, a shadowy thriller about spies and government plots, an op-ed, a sprawling novel, a perfunctory short story, whatever it is, someone wants that story. Give it to them. Sitting here debating with me about what a pen actually is only delays your audience's gratification. Don't keep them waiting. Start writing. Today's writing prompt. You're the lead guitar player and leader of an up-and-coming rock band. Audiences adore you. They scream and shout at all of your shows, and they show up in droves every time you book a club. Now, a major record label wants to sign you with a giant signing bonus. The only catch is they want you to completely change your style to match the music of the day. Half the band wants to take the offer. The other half wants to reject it. Tell your story about what you decide to do. That's it for the main story this week, everyone. Earlier this week, I encouraged my readers and listeners to connect with their cohorts. Like, really reach out and start a conversation. This week, I started a new manuscript based entirely off a joking conversation that cropped up one evening. I discussed the nature of infinity with another writer. I laughed about the bad necromancy of Frankenstein. Sure, it was all over social media, but it was enriching nonetheless. It wasn't pointless bickering. It was a legitimate exchange of ideas around shared interests. It was fun. Reach out and have some fun with someone today. That's all for today, everybody. If you like the podcast and the show, please consider liking, subscribing, leaving a rating, leaving a review, whatever it is. Send me some feedback. Send me your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you, and I certainly look forward and appreciate the opportunity to continue to send you some writing advice, writing tips, and just talking about writing. Take care, everybody.